G'day, Brian and Mark with you, and we're talking training pace today. It's probably one of those things, Mark, training pace in running, that not many people give much thought to. A lot of the people that we see, particularly beginners or people coming back to running, do most of their running just at one pace, don't they?
Yeah, that's right. Tend to get really good at running at one certain pace and not being able to sort of go a little bit faster or a little bit slower when needed, and listening to their body at the same time.
So it's generally kind of a long, steady, slow kind of pace.
Yeah, the long, steady pace, they want to tend to build up how many Ks they're doing on top of that long, slow, steady pace, rather than thinking, oh, hang on, I might keep that where it is and start doing some shorter stuff on another day. So yeah, there's some confusion about the different names for the different paces and stuff like that. So a bit of clarification around that's sometimes a good thing.
And we're both big fans of the Daniels Running Formula book.
Yeah, great book.
Yeah, it's an excellent book. If you haven't got it already, you should buy it. The Daniels book in particular has, I think, 5 different training paces outlined. So what he actually does in that book is suggest for your particular level of fitness different paces that you can train at in accordance with that fitness. So the Daniels book, we've got easy pace running, marathon pace running, tempo pace running, VO2 max or 5k race pace running, and also rep pace running. So yeah, there's 5 different paces that people can play with there. Could you just take me through each of those paces, and perhaps the ones that people just starting out with running or those working on technique might focus on a little bit more?
Yeah, there is a little bit of confusion around those, and everybody's pace at marathon paces and intervals and all that is obviously different, so it's got to be relevant for you, and that's the best part about Daniel's book is all of those paces are relevant for you as a runner. Might not be relevant for, say, Brian or myself, so you've got to stick within your own sort of range of paces, really. So easy pace is obviously just a pace where you can run along and talk to each other. That's pretty self-explanatory. Marathon pace is something that the pace, if you are a marathon runner or a longer distance runner, that you would be able to complete a marathon in. Coming down to sort of a tempo pace is where I think sometimes there's a bit of confusion for people. We tend to work on tempo pace being the pace that you could sustain for an hour of running. So it might be 5-minute K pace if you were to do an hour race, or if you can run 10k in an hour, 10k, 6-minute Ks is your tempo pace. So, and then tempo pace for working on technique we use a lot too. So we can break it down to some smaller chunks, say 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute intervals, but it's done at tempo pace.
Yes. So, and the reason for that is to try and get people moving a little bit faster than their slow stuff, and so they can actually practice running with better technique at a slightly faster pace.
Yeah, and not overdoing it, really.
Yes, and you could also break that up using those fartlek type sessions where you either do random distances or times, or you can have little pyramids where you do minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, that sort of
all at tempo pace.
So for people working on technique, there's probably another pace that we get them looking at as well, and that's rep pace.
Yes, that's right. But again, initially, especially with beginners, we don't get in the rep pace. You're not doing an extreme distance, so it is only sort of short distance. Even some strides, which are we've discussed as well, which are only 50 to 80 meters. Up to you can do some rep pace up to 400 meters. Really, that's fine. Going beyond that as a beginner, you tend to then start again losing some form and losing a bit of technique. So we try and keep it reasonably contained.
Okay, so we've covered a few different training paces there. Probably the key ones for beginners, people coming back to running, people working on technique, those easy paces, the tempo pace, and the rep pace for shorter reps.